Okay, I'm just going to start sharing my screen. Apologies if you get a lot of repeated information. Okay. So I'm going to be talking about getting started in Canvas. We're going to cover these 4 issues and any other issues anyone else wants to cover. Logging in, setting your notifications, uploading your assignment, and how to view your grades. So logging in is the biggest problem we've been having with Canvas. What's been happening is, oh yeah, here we are. One of the first problems we come across is going to the right address. That sounds really simple, but lots of people go to swinburneonline.instructure.com, which is a separate company. It's not Swinburne Professional. So the very first thing you should do is make sure you're going to swinburne.instructure.com. Now what I'm going to do is I'm going to open an incognito browser so that it forgets who I am. Now sometimes this is actually quite a helpful thing to do for yourself, because Swinburne Canvas uses Office 365, you can see that there, as its system for logging you in. So your credentials are held by Office 365, and Canvas associates those credentials with your Swinburne student email account. So if you've got a work or a personal account that's already logged into any kind of Microsoft site, Canvas, in an attempt to be helpful, will look at that credential and try and log you into Canvas with it, and generally will fail. So, you know, a good way to check to see if you're already logged in under a different Office 365 profile is to go to, let me just go to the right browser, office.com, and then just to check in the top right corner, there's a little bubble. See how it's got Daniel Nicholls? See, I'm already logged in under my Swinburne account there. So if you click that and your Swinburne student account isn't in that top right corner, that means you're logged in as someone else, and you should probably log out, or do as I did, open an incognito browser. That way you'll just be logged in with your Swinburne student account. So how you log in is you put your full email. Your Swinburne student email is generally an 8-digit number. So if you're not entering an 8-digit number, that could be your first problem. So it'd be something like at student.swin.edu.au. So that's generally what it'll look like. And then if I were to go next, it would ask for my password. I'd put that in, and that would take me to my dashboard in Canvas. And that looks like that. It's sort of a screen with Swinburne in the top left corner, and then all the courses you're enrolled in will be there on your dashboard. So that's logging in. There are a few more issues people have, but generally, if you go to swinburne.instructure.com, log out of any other Office 365 accounts, and then log in using your Canvas student email and ID, that should get you in. I'm just going to pause now for any questions, because I know that.
Where do you get that email ID?
Ralph, I'll let you answer that question.
Yeah, so can everyone hear me now?
Yes.
Fantastic.
Yep.
So the enrollments are currently being processed. As part of the enrollment, once it is finalized, you'll be enrolled into the Canvas module, and a confirmation email with your student ID and the web link to access Canvas will be emailed to you. It's most likely going to come from my email. And we're hoping on or before the 3rd of December.
Great.
Ralph?
Yes.
Ralph, it's Steve here. We had a quick, in the previous email you sent out about a couple of weeks ago, where we had to enroll again, there's a create your USI link. Are we supposed to do that or not?
No. So the USI is a completely different student number. This is your Australian national unique student identifier. So any qualification that you complete in Australia, that number will follow you around. So the government will have a national record of any qualification you've completed based on that number.
Okay.
The number you will be issued with is purely your Swinburne student ID. which, as Dan mentioned, is an 8-digit, generally an 8-digit number.
Brad and Mersad, could I get you to mute your mics, please? We're just getting a lot of noise from your feeds. Thanks. Okay, so the first thing you should do once you're successfully logged in is go and look at your account, which is in the top left corner. There's always this bar along the left-hand side in Canvas. To those people who can't see the screen, this is being recorded, but I'll just describe. There's a bar on the left-hand side, and the top item is called Account. And if you click that, a little menu pops out with 5 options on it. The top one is Profile. The next one down is Settings, and that's what I'm going to click now. So if I go into my account settings, I can alter the email addresses that are associated with this account. So you can see in the top left corner, the top right corner, I apologize, is my Swinburne email address. But let's say I never check that. I check my work or personal address. I would add plus email, which is again in the top right corner, which I'm clicking now, and it would let me add any email address I like. And that way I don't always have to check on my Swinburne student email address to see if I've got any notifications from Canvas. So I'd put dan@home.com, hit register, and that would add that email to my profile. So that's a common request, which is I don't want to check my student email address all the time. Well, Canvas lets you add an email address. You can also see in the top right corner, you can add other kinds of contact methods such as your mobile phone number. I wouldn't necessarily recommend that if you don't want to get a bunch of texts, but there is a Canvas app called Canvas Student, which if you want to get notifications on your phone, just download that, put in your account details, and you can receive notifications to your phone rather than to email or to your phone number. So how do you get notifications? Well, in the same account pop-out that we clicked before, the top one's called Notifications. So if I click that, I'll be given a new menu. On the left-hand side, there's a number of actions that you can take or that Canvas can take. And on the right-hand side is the frequency with which you wish to be notified. So some things you might want to be notified immediately, such as I've received a grade. So you can see grading. I want to be notified immediately. You'd click that tick. However, let's say you are getting too many notifications and you might want to be notified once a day. Here are your notifications from Canvas on this subject. You'd click send me a daily summary, and it would kind of sum up all the notifications that Canvas gives you into a single email that it would send you at the end of the day. Equally, you've got a weekly summary, so similar to daily, it would send you an email once a week. And then some things you may never want to hear about. So a blueprint sync, I don't know what that is. I'll say I never want to hear about that. So click that, scroll to the bottom. Oh, in fact, you don't even need to hit save. You just click those items and you'll determine how Canvas notifies you. I would like it if people never turn off the grading option. And also the due date option is probably a good idea to never turn off, because occasionally the facilitator or assessor will try to communicate with you, and we do want that reassurance that the notification system is getting in touch with you. I'll just pause for a moment there. Does anyone have any questions?
Hi, it's Fiona.
Hi, Fiona.
With this, hi, how are you?
Good, thank you.
With this, can you actually put multiple email addresses for it to be sent to? So like your work one and your home one at the same time, or is it just one at a time?
I believe so, yes. So your student,
Okay.
your Swinburne student email address will never drop off the system. That's sort of the core address associated with your account. So adding an email address doesn't change your login to that email address. It just changes what Canvas emails when it wants to tell you something. So you'll still log in with your student email address, so you'll still need to know what that address is and what the password is. It's purely for notifications. But yes, you could add your work and home email address if you wanted to.
Thank you.
No worries. So that's my account. I'm going to go back to the dashboard. So there's two ways to view your courses. You can click the dashboard, which shows you little pictures for each of the courses you're enrolled in. It's taking a little while to load there. There we go. So you can see there's a bunch of courses I'm enrolled in. Now that's not actually all the courses I'm enrolled in. If I click courses and then click all courses, I'll get a big long list of all the courses I'm enrolled in. Hopefully this won't affect you guys that much. You shouldn't be enrolled in as many courses as me. As you can see, I'm enrolled in quite a few there. But it lets you control by starring or unstarring a course what appears on your dashboard. So I'm just going to click courses, and I'm going to head to this one, ORG Swinburne Professional Telstra. Is that right, Ralph?
Yes,
that's
correct.
the one. So this is what your course will most likely look like. So you can see as soon as you go into a module, another menu appears. So it's sort of a contextual menu about the course you're in. I'm just going to switch to the student view so that you guys can see what it'll look like for you. So you can see it goes down a lot. It goes down to the core functions that we're interested in you interacting with. So on the home page, generally there's a little bit of information about the course and some information about your Swinburne team. That's just to sort of situate you in what your course is. So the next thing you'll likely want to click is modules. So modules is essentially a list of everything that's in the course. So any documents that you'd need to access will appear here in the modules section. You can see it's broken up by workshop. So any downloads you need to do, summaries, documents that you need to access will be stored here in the modules section. So it's sort of a table of contents of what Canvas has to offer you. Next thing you'll most likely use Canvas for is uploading your assignment. So if you click assignments, you'll see all the assignments that are currently available. There can actually be more assignments in this, but for example, if they're in the past or they're significantly far in the future that your facilitator doesn't want you to see them, they won't appear here. So if I click the first portfolio submission, that would be the first assignment. You can see there's some text. That is not the assignment due date, that is a placeholder text, do not panic. So you can see there's some text about how to submit your assignment. Where appropriate, there'll be a downloadable document. So for example, if there's a document you need to complete your assignment, you can find it here. And of course in the top right corner is the red submit assignment button. So if you click that, a little dialog will come up. You can upload your file, or if you use Office 365, you can access the files that are already in your Office 365 network. And if I click choose...
Sorry, man. I think that Office 365 might be a little problematic for Telstra.
Oh, okay. I'll just ignore that then.
Yeah.
So just if you click choose file, you can choose a file from your local computer using the regular file selection dialog you'll probably be familiar with. You can add any comments you'd like to make to your facilitator or assessor, then hit the red button to submit the assignment. Now once the assignment is submitted, it goes to the assessor's, it goes to the grade book, which is the place that the assessor can see and grade everyone's assignments. But if you click grades, you'll see a list of all the assignments you could have submitted, a score if one's been provided, a due date if one exists, and also if you have submitted and you click into the assignment, you'll see the assignment that you've submitted, so you can sort of go back and look at what you've submitted and, if applicable, any comments the assessor has made on your submission. So that is grades. Let me just check what else we need to cover. Uploading assignments, viewing grades. I think that's everything. I just wanted to say there is quite a bit of support for Canvas. People often feel quite lost in Canvas. I'm sure some of you have experienced this. So your first port of contact should be Ralph, but you can also, of course, contact me. That is mainly for login problems, so before you get into Canvas. But once you are in Canvas, there's a, let me just jump back there. There's a help button here where you can call us or access the Canvas community for any problems you're having. But yeah, as I say, the first port of call should be to contact Ralph. I'll just stop there. Are there any other questions?
Yeah, so is all of the content going to be moved across? Because I guess where the confusion came from me was we had to log into the old system, download everything so that we had the copy. But then it kind of looks like it's all in here as well. So I'm sort of confused why we've done that step if it's all in here.
So during transition from Blackboard to Canvas, yes, we were concerned that there was a possibility that information would be lost. So sort of as a precautionary measure, we did ask people to save their assignments. Because we really hate it to say, oh, we had your assignments in Blackboard and now they're not in Canvas. But it looks like the transition went really well, and so all the information that we need to transfer across did come across. So it was really a backup measure. Sorry, Ralph.
Yeah, and just to reiterate, the grades will transfer across. All of the grades will be transitioned. All the content that was available on Blackboard by Swinburne will also obviously transition. That's why we needed you to download all of your work so that you have a local copy. Now, when it comes to the marking guide, Anita will progressively, as portfolios are assessed, she will re-upload your updated marking guide, and you can access that on an ongoing basis. But it's very important that you download your own portfolios as a local copy, and we will download your portfolios as well for Swinburne's copy. And obviously, any future portfolio assessments that you submit will be stored on Canvas, and once you complete, we will download it, and we recommend that you download it as well. Any other questions?
Just fun here. How many assignments altogether are there? 6 assignments each month? Do we have to submit?
So in total, you will have 6 portfolios to submit. Within each portfolio, I believe there are several tasks to be completed.
Okay. Fair enough.
So as you can see at the very top, there's summary feedback marking guide. So this is where Anita will be uploading and keeping up to date your progressive marking guide that reflects how you're performing on the 6 portfolios. But your individual grades, when you go to the grade book or when you're looking at your assignments as an overview, your individual portfolios are the ones that are going to be scored. The marking guide doesn't contribute to your overall grade.
Sure. Thank you.
Any other questions?
I should just reiterate, if you have any trouble signing in, which does seem to be the #1 problem, contact Ralph as a matter of first principle, but you can also, of course, contact me, and I'll send my email address around after this meeting with the PowerPoint and the video. So don't feel afraid to drop me a line. I have found most of the login problems are usually pretty easily solved, but did you send that video around, Ralph, that we made last week?
No, not yet.
Okay, so Ralph's going to send a video around that sort of goes through the login step by step, and if you follow that, that should get you around most problems, but give us an email or a call if it doesn't work.
Yeah, and we're also developing a how-to guide, just a step-by-step guide that will most likely be a PDF document that will also be circulated to everyone to make sure that you've got the resources at hand if you're having any issues when it comes to modules, assignments, and grades. But I believe the main key here is to set up your Telstra email address in the settings. In the account as for the notifications as well. That will be the main thing. And if you do download the app, it obviously does streamline a lot of the notification process, so you don't have to log in each time. Is everything clear on the settings and how to set up your email address, how to access the platform? Do we have any questions in regards to that?
That looks clear.
I don't. Looks clear enough.
Perfect.
You can also
that's good. Thank you.
There'll be other questions afterwards.
Yeah, 100%. You usually don't know what to ask until you're interacting with the system, and that's why it's so frustrating that the primary problem we're having is that logging on. But once you're over that hurdle and into the system, it's generally quite intuitive. But yes, setting up your email address is a good first step so that you don't miss any notifications from Canvas. And the great thing about Canvas notifications is they come to your email, and in them will be a link, and you'll click that and be taken straight into Canvas to the appropriate place. So yeah, you don't need to go, where do I need to go again? Yeah.
It's Byron here. Just one question. I know that you're working through the enrolments at the moment. When should we expect to receive that email, and will it be sent to our Telstra email address as part of that enrolment process?
Yes, it will definitely. Thanks. Good question, Byron. It will definitely be sent to your Telstra email or the email that you use to register on that online enrollment link. I'm assuming everyone or most of you have used a Telstra email. So you'll receive the confirmation of enrollment to that email, which will then contain your student ID as well as the web link to access Canvas platform.
Great, thank you.
And just a reminder, you use your full email to log into Canvas, not just your student ID.
Yeah, I'll make sure that is included in the email as well. Dan, can we go to the modules page?
Absolutely.
Please?
If I... Oh. Oh, yep, here we are. So, modules.
Okay. So this is going to be your main page. As you can see, it is split on workshops. So the good thing about it, it is pretty straightforward, but I'll explain it. So if we take a look at workshop 1, you'll have the workbook that you're working on, the presentation that is used. That summary feedback is the same marking guide that you can find in assignments. And you can also access the respective assessment or portfolio for workshop 1 within that workshop 1 module. So that cluster is essentially all you need for workshop 1. Now, each portfolio submission for the newer groups will have a due date attached to it, which will be clearly outlined just next to 100 points underneath the portfolio submission 1. And so forth.
Yep.
Now, for those of you who can see the screen, do you have any questions about the layout or how to access anything? Then can you click on one CLE participant workbook under workshop 1, please?
This one here?
First one.
Yeah. So what Canvas is going to try and do is it'll try and load it inside the browser. That's what that spinning circle is. But you can also hit this button here, and it'll download it in your browser as a PDF, so you can see it coming down there. So you can view it either in Canvas, in this little window, or you can download it straight onto your computer and work from it there. Is that clear enough? Oh.
I suspect I'll have more questions when I can play around with it.
Yeah, 100%. Please feel free to email us, and we'll get the answers back to you as quickly as possible.
And when do we think that we're going to have all the student IDs and stuff sorted for login? You said by December 3rd?
I'm hoping by the next, in the coming week, but it will be 3rd of December, the latest.
Okay, awesome.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Great. All right. Well, if there's no further questions, let me just quickly check the chat. Where'd the chat go? There it is. All right. Yeah, people are just mainly asking where's the student email ID coming from, and that has been asked and answered around about December 3rd. And
what about
all
the examples? So in the old system, there was a whole pile of examples that were available.
Yep.
There it is.
Yeah,
cool.
sorry, I just minimized that because it was hiding the daily ones. But yes, that's the very first item in the modules, so you can see all those there.
Yeah. So all the content that you previously had access to on Blackboard, and for COE 15, you wouldn't have had access to anything as yet. All the content that was on the old LMS has been transitioned across. So you'll find that it's all the same, but it's much better sectioned. Workshop 1 is within its respective section and so forth. And next week, I'll be working through making sure that all your grades are up to date. So that's a bit of the transition. All the ones that are existing on Blackboard will be transitioned. That's not a problem. And obviously, Anita, Peter, and I will be working closely on all the submissions that are being finalized within that transitional period. And then in the lead up to the 3rd, I'll also do a cross-check. Once your grades have been actioned on Canvas, your access to Blackboard will be turned off, but it will remain open for me just to make sure from a quality perspective that, one, we've downloaded all of your work that has been submitted on Blackboard, and any new work is being submitted on Canvas, and the grades are matching up. Any questions about the transition, the enrollment, anything?
Are you mentioning Blackboard? What is Blackboard?
You must be a CO 15. Blackboard is the old LMS that the Telstra groups have used, also known as course sites.
Okay,
So
and Canvas has taken over that as the current LMS, and we won't be using Blackboard at all.
Yes, that's correct. So all the previous groups are transitioning onto Canvas as the university has transitioned to Canvas, and any new groups from Telstra that come on board will directly come onto Canvas, which is what we're seeing right now.
Sure. Thanks, Ralph.
No worries.
So, Ralph Amit here. Can you hear me?
Yes, I can hear you.
So, do we hold any submission till the 3rd of December or till the time we get access to Canvas, or can we continue submitting? So, for example, if I can submit something today, will it get assessed by Anita in course sites, or we have stopped it after 28th?
Certainly. So everything will be business as usual up until the 3rd of December. On the 3rd of December, anything you do will be on Canvas, and anything Anita does will be on Canvas, and everything that was on course sites will be transitioned across. But it will remain open for me just to make sure that quality piece is met, to make sure that none of you have missed out on any portfolios not being assessed or any grades not being transitioned. So it is a bit of an audit process for us, but you don't need to worry about any grades going missing or any work not being assessed.
Thanks, Ralph. Thanks for that.
No worries.
Ralph, it's Anita here.
Hello, Anita.
Hey, I am here. I might just add, except for obviously the new COE participants who are starting, we'll spend some more time having a look at Canvas in the first workshop, and you'll learn about all the various documents, because obviously everything's very new for you guys. Don't panic. For those who are already in the program, particularly those who are nearing completion, you are more than welcome to work with me directly. Just reach out and say, hey, just be clear on what you've got left, timelines. We've obviously, Ralph's been talking about the deadlines to see, and just to work with me around, look, if I do it by this date and then by this date, can you get the feedback done quick enough? So we can certainly, obviously better off if you don't have to transition, but we just need to manage that quite carefully. So please reach out to me directly if you are in that situation.
Yeah.
You still need to do the enrolment form though, right?
Yes,
that has to be done
correct.
regardless. Yeah, no matter what you do, you have to do the enrolment form.
Yeah. So if you can get your submissions across before the transition, that's great. It won't affect your online enrollment. You'll still be issued with a Swinburne ID. It just means we just won't give you access to Canvas, and we'll just graduate you. Any other questions, concerns?
Great. I love it when there's no questions. Yeah, but please do get in touch. Yeah, we'll be in touch with you with what you need soon.
Thanks, guys.
Cool.
Thank you.
All right. Thanks, everyone. I'm going to
Thank
stop that
you.
recording now.
Thanks, guys.
Thank you all.
Thanks.
Bye.